I have another application from Chapter 12 on pollution and policy measures to control pollution. This is a very simplified example having to do with permit trading systems. And this same problem can be adapted to be an auction permit problem. It can be a traded permit problem. It actually can be a tax problem as well. Anyway, here we have the Fox River going through Appleton, Wisconsin. Historically, quite a concentration of the paper manufacturing industry. And there's a beautiful river. This Fox River is, as you could see, lined by these, somewhat pollutive factories. And let's think about how we might go about cleaning up that river at the lowest possible cost to society. And the point of this exercise is to give you a sense of why permit trading systems can reduce the cost of cleaning up the environment, even while cleaning up the same amount or more than we cleaned up in the command and control system. So I've made up these two polluters. I've got Joanne Burke, this sort of thinly veiled Kimberly Clark, that was the idea, and Brownwater Services, these two Appleton, Wisconsin firms. They're imaginary. And I've just canned this example so that they each have costs of $10,000, do I say a month? Yeah, per month. And to clean up tons of glop, these are, if they emit 4 tons in the unregulated outcome, if they wanted to clean up 1 ton of glop, they'd have to adopt a different practice, more expensive practice, 2 tons of glop, 3 tons of glop, cleaning everything up. All right, so let's think through this problem. If the government takes action to clean up half the glop emitted, so unregulated they produce 8 tons of glop, we want to clean up half, and so that means, let's read this question. If the government takes action to clean up half the glop by issuing the firm tradable permits to emit just 2 tons of glop per month, who will buy permits? And cleanup costs will be how many dollars a month less than the command and control regulation of the same amount? So a lot going on in this problem. Let's just first figure out costs in the command and control. We'll call that C&C costs. JB moves from $10,000 a month to $12,500. So that's a $2,500 increase in its cost to clean up. And then Brownwater, their costs go up from $10,000 to $10,500. That's $500. And total costs are $3,000 per month. All right, and then the tradable permits case will let us answer both the first and the second part of this problem. So let's think that through. The way we think this through is to think about who's going to buy a permit and who's going to sell a permit. And notice that JB their marginal cost of cleanup, it costs them $1,000 to clean up that first ton, $1,500 more to clean up that second ton. These are marginal costs of cleanup. Cost them $2,500 to clean up that third ton, and then finally another $5,000 to be squeaky clean. So a very expensive cleanup by JB. Brownwater, on the other hand, can clean up the first ton for just $100, the second ton for $400 more. The third ton costs them $1,000 to clean up, and the fourth ton costs them $2,000 to clean up. These are just made up numbers, but in a permit trading system, if they both start with 2 permits, notice that JB is willing to pay, they're willing to pay as much as $1,500 for 1 extra permit. So that if they could just clean up 1 ton instead of 2 tons, they could save $1,500. So that permit, an extra pollution permit is worth $1,500 to them. Well, notice that brown water could clean up an extra ton, a 3rd ton, for just $1,000. So we've got a willingness to pay for that permit, that one of those permits of brown waters. Remember, brown water has 2. They could sell one of them and clean up an extra ton for $1,000. They would be willing to do that if they could get more than $1,000 in the pollution permit market. So what's going to happen here if these permits are tradable? Brown water's going to be willing to clean up 1 extra as long as it could get at least $1,000, and Joanne Burke is willing to pay $1,500. So what's going to happen is Joanne Burke is going to be the one to buy. So it's going to be, we can eliminate C and D. And as far as, we don't know what the price is. The price is going to be higher than $1,000 for a permit and lower than $1,500 a permit, but we can't tell more than that. But notice, by shifting responsibility for cleanup away from Joanne Burke toward Brownwater Services Cleanup More, we save $1,500 here and we spend $1,000 there. So we lower the cost of cleaning up that 4th ton of pollution from $1,500 cost of cleanup to $1,000 cost of cleanup. So cleanup costs have fallen by $500. A is our answer. Now, in real life, the United States has implemented a widespread permit trading program, and the savings are much bigger than this example suggests. Between the time Bill Clinton expanded the pilot program that George H.W. Bush started in the late 80s, early 90s, it was such a successful program that under Clinton, that program was expanded to cover all regional pollutants, or at least the vast majority of them. Anyway, we have gotten no less cleanup, but cleanup costs have fallen by more than half. So this has been a very, very successful program. Anytime a government can figure out a way to get the same amount of benefit at less than half the costs, that is a real win for society. And you don't read about that much in the newspaper because, nobody's dying and nobody's cheating. It's not a real flashy news story, but it really has been a great thing for the U.S. economy during the last several decades. And as far as going forward, as we think about what kinds of systems we want to build in to address this problem of climate change due to carbon emissions into the atmosphere, this is why analysts are so high on either a carbon tax or auction permits, or frankly even given away permits, although the auction permits or the taxes are far more beneficial from the point of view of total surplus. And what gives the edge to auctioning or auctioning permits or taxing is that we can then use those revenues to reduce payroll taxes and mitigate the regressive effect of a large jump in energy costs. We can target our tax cuts to the relatively poor people who pay a bit higher percentage of their income as energy costs. Anyway, this example gives you a flavor of just how those moves from command and control systems to either tradable permits, taxes, how they lower cleanup costs. Very, very important element of our understanding of the issues in Chapter 12.